You know, folks, it's times like this I'm glad I have the words of the poets Bowling for Soup to comfort me. Getting old sucks, but everybody's doing it. You know, getting older is a difficult thing sometimes. Nobody really wants to admit that they are aging. Even those people who are at peace with the passage of time, I don't think anybody really enjoys the fact that, you know, your hearing is not as good as it once was, that your knees and back pop and creak like a haunted house when you get out of bed, that, you know, your beard is more gray than black. And no one especially wants to admit when, you know, their mind is not what it once was, that memories are starting to fade. And I gotta tell you, I didn't think I was there. I really didn't. I didn't think I was that bad, especially when, you know, you don't feel that old in spirit. You know, when you feel like high school was a couple months ago and not 2 decades. But I really didn't think my memory was this bad. I really didn't, but I guess I was wrong, because it says there right at the top of the film, but I swear I do not remember computer animated movies in 1995 looking like this. I swear, that's not what they look like. That's not what kids' movies in general in 1995 looked like, as far as I remember, but apparently I'm the fucking idiot, because I guess this was the movie that made little Andy want a Buzz Lightyear action figure for his birthday. Well, shave my head and call me drafty. I guess I'm just getting old, because I don't remember any of that shit. Fair warning, I already put it at the top of the video, but fair warning, a lot of this review is just going to be old man yelling at cloud. Okay? I'm going to be straight up and honest with y'all, so you don't have to come bitching at me in the comment section. All right? I know that a lot of this review is going to be more me complaining because things aren't the way I like them, rather than giving this movie serious critical analysis like I try to do. Believe it or not, I actually try to do that with these. So just be aware, if you want an impassioned discussion about the themes and style of this movie, I feel like you might need to look elsewhere, because I don't think that's what's going to happen here, folks. I just don't think that's what's going to happen. So you're forewarned. You don't want to hear me ranting about, you know, why can't things be the way I like them to be? Then, you know, go somewhere else, because that's what this is going to be. You know, let's actually start off. Let's start off positive. Is that if I'm being completely honest here, if I'm being objective, there's not really a whole lot bad or wrong with this movie from a strictly objective standpoint. Aside from the fact I feel that it's a bit too long and drawn out. They really pace it weird, and it feels like some of the character beats are just stretched out a little too much. But aside from that, I can totally see, honestly, if I can believe that if I was age appropriate for this movie, if I was the target audience, that this could have been one of my new favorite things. You know, it's space adventure, it's aliens, it's, you know, there's a lot of really fast-paced, really creative action scenes. I think casting Chris Evans as Buzz Lightyear instead of Tim Allen was a good idea. I think, for one thing, even though it's just the voice, Chris Evans is just more likable than Tim Allen. Just is. You know, and I think that it also makes sense within the world that they are trying to create here, that the Buzz Lightyear toy would be just kind of an empty shell of Buzz Lightyear cliches. And also wouldn't sound anything like the Buzz Lightyear from the movie, because a lot of those talking toys don't. They get a voice actor who sounds vaguely like the real person, and there you go. Because very rarely are these top stars going in and doing voice recordings for talking toys. Rarely, sometimes they do, but not often. So, I also think that they did a good job of giving Buzz an actual character and making him, again, actually likable, as opposed to, whatever the hell he was in Toy Story. So, I feel that, for the most part, this film, there's not a lot to complain about in terms of its actual content. Oh, except for the one thing. There is one thing that we need to talk about right off the top, and I know that some of you already know about this, but okay, this is really hard. This is really hard, because it when this happened in the movie, it traumatized me, and I it's like going back to Nam. I don't want to relive it, but I care about you people, and I don't want you to have the same shock to your system, to your heart, that I had. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, there is a gay character in this movie, and she kisses her wife. Okay. Can we do real talk? Let's do real talk here for a second. I have tried very hard to be fair and understanding to people with different points of view than my own, which has not always been easy, but I have tried. I try my best. I know I put on a very cynical face, but I try my best to not believe the worst in people. I tend to believe, like, take the Turning Red example, for example, I should say. I do not think that the controversy with that film was enough to get so worked up about, but I was trying to be fair and even-handed to the people whom it might have come as a bit of a shock to. And I didn't want to believe that everybody who was doing it was just some reactionary fool looking to shout because a movie said the word period. And here again, I didn't want to believe that everybody bitching and moaning about this was, that they were just homophobic. That, hey, maybe you can understand that maybe it presents an issue to you and your kids, and maybe you're not ready to talk about, and maybe you don't know how to talk about it. I've tried to be understanding, folks, but you know what? The well is dry. I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I'm gonna lay this out to you straight, call it tough love. I'm sorry, but it needs to be fucking said. Gay people exist. Okay? Gay people exist. They exist now. They always have existed. They always will exist. And you just need to get the fuck over it. Well, how do I explain it to my kids? Very simply, that those two people are in love. There. Boom. It is not that hard. Okay? It's just not. And we have got to stop making such a big deal out of, especially when the moment in question lasts less than 2 seconds. It's not like they have a makeout session and then film a scene from Game of Thrones right there in the fucking middle of the movie. They give each other a little peck, and that's it. And this was enough, apparently, to warrant news coverage and people flipping their shit. Look, folks, get over it. gay people exist. Maybe instead of burying your head in the sand, talk to your kids about it. Use this as an opportunity to introduce your kids to the idea that there are different people in the world, and they're not evil, and they're not monsters, and what they do has absolutely no effect on you and the way you live your life. They live the way they want, you live the way you want, you can still work together, you can still be friends. Use it as a jumping off point, but let's stop making such a fucking mess of all of this. Bloody fucking hell. Okay. So we're clearly into the old man rants at cloud section. So let's get to it. Let's rant about this thing. I've got rants, people. This is me unloading. Okay, so let's go with that fucking opening, okay? This is the movie that Andy saw that made him want a Buzz Lightyear. Fuck you! Fuck you! And I know that the first thing everyone's going to say is, oh, it's such a nitpick. That shouldn't determine whether you liked or didn't like the movie. And yes, I will cop to that. I will cop to that. It shouldn't. And in a way it didn't. But in a lot of ways it does. And here's why it does. Because it makes no fucking sense why they put that in there. It doesn't make any fucking sense. This movie looks and feels nothing like a kid's film from the 90s would. Live action or animated. It looks nothing like it. It doesn't sound like it. It doesn't look like it. It is in no way a movie from the 90s. But they hang the entire purpose for this movie existing on that. And they try to put in little 90s nods, you know, Buzz blowing on the cartridge for the autopilot to get it in there, to make it work like you used to do with a Nintendo cartridge. You know, having the cute cat character have a old internet dial-up sound when he plugged in. Okay, but here's the fucking problem I have. Okay, so you put those little jokes in there. And yeah, actually, I have two problems. Number one, I hate fucking jokes like that. Hate it. Because that's not an Easter egg. An Easter egg is something that most people, it should fly over their heads, but if you know what you're looking for, you see it. These are things that these animators and these people at Pixar hang on every fucking joke. They got their winking so hard at the audience, it's like a strobe light in their head. They can't not draw attention to how clever they are. They've spent so much time being told they're the most clever studio in the entire world, they just have to hang that goddamn lampshade on it. So there's problem number one. Problem number two, if you wanted this, if that's what you wanted to make, then why didn't you? Why didn't you? Why didn't you? I just watched a video, and it was CinemaSins, that praised Turning Red for a scene where all the girls are texting on their 2002 phones for the research that the animators did to get all those phones looking great. Pixar loves having its ass kicked and love being told how much attention to detail they put in there. That's your attention to detail for the 90s? That's it? And look, I'm not saying that everything from the 90s we should bring back. Believe you me, that is not what I am saying. You watch some stuff from the 90s and you're like, holy shit, we were barbarians. But how hard would it have been to have copied the style of a film from back then? How hard? That apparently was too much for you. And again, the thing that makes me the maddest about this is that you could have just cut that starting title card off. You didn't need it. You could have just said that this is exactly what it is, a reboot. Why? You could have done a title card like they rebooted Andy's favorite character from his childhood, and now he's here to watch this and feel nostalgia. You know, like they're hoping half the audience is going to do. Why they had to hang the 95 thing on it, I don't understand. And again, it makes me mad because it's out of place for this production company. It seems like a huge blunder that somebody made thinking they were clever, or somebody stuck it on at the last second. And it's so anachronistic. Everything about the film feels anachronistic after that. And again, I know it's the stupidest thing to get hung up on. I know. But it doesn't mean I didn't get hung up on it. because I didn't have the nostalgia for this to fall back on. You know, I was not a Toy Story fan. You know, I was in, high school? I was a sophomore in high school when it came out, so I was already past the age that this would appeal to as a little kid, and even from the new generation of computers being able to do all sorts of movie magic things, I didn't think the first movie was that good. So, I don't have that nostalgia cushion that I might have for other properties that do something stupid like this and then, you know, and then turn in a fairly decent movie afterwards. So, okay, again, I'm sorry. I'm ranting about stupid shit. But let me rant about some other shit about this movie that just fries me. God almighty. As I've said, it's entirely anachronistic once it actually gets going, because it does not feel like a movie from the 90s, which, again, would have been kind of interesting to play with 90s tropes and 90s character archetypes. But no, they're all fucking 2020 character archetypes. Yeah, Buzz gets his little ragtag group of misfits, and they're the same bunch of gibbering morons they are in every fucking movie like this. Look, I love Taika Waititi. I really do. Becca and I just did an entire review of Love and Thunder praising him. But, God, his character is obnoxious and irritating. Okay, here's the thing, and again, maybe this is the teacher in me. This is the teacher in me talking right now. They do this scene where Buzz is trying to give them instructions about how the suits work. I need you to do this, and you're going to push the button and take a white. You mean this button over here? What about this button? Is it that button? What about this button? And he's interjecting. No, but what about, is that the one? What does this one do? What does that one do? What is it? Shut the fuck up! And listen to what is being said, and then maybe you won't have questions. And I know the defense is, well, you know, he's not the best, but he's got a lot of heart, and he's trying his best. No, he's fucking not. He's not trying his best. He is actively interrupting this person giving you important life-saving information. And either he's doing it, A, because he is an idiot and doesn't know to shut his fucking mouth while instructions are being given, or he's doing it to be funny, which makes him a person who doesn't appreciate the seriousness of the situation. Either way, he's undercutting the fucking mission. I hate when movies do that. It was cute the first time, and some characters have time, and, you know, you can do it with, like, you know, Bob's Burgers can do this. You know, with Bob trying to give Teddy instructions, and Teddy, you know, is that what I do, Bob? Am I cutting it right, Bob? No, that's not right, Teddy. What about this? Well, cut. That's not. Don't pick that up, Teddy. You know, okay, that works. But this, I think the reason it works for Bob's Burgers is because Bob's Burgers, a lot of those lines often are improvised. They'll just let the actors kind of go and, you know, keep things like that. So when something like that happens, it really does feel natural, at least from a comedic standpoint. Here, you can tell it's scripted, and it's all just there to go, ho, 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 funny, funny. It's like, and it's not funny, it's irritating. Again, that is from me. That's what I find irritating. I know everybody else finds it hysterical. I know kids probably find it funny. Again, if I was a kid, I'd probably be laughing pretty hard right at that moment. Or maybe I wouldn't. Even back then, I was pretty hip to the, hey, haven't we seen this joke done about 1 million times already? So maybe not. Maybe I would have been a stick in the mud even back then. Look, I don't hate this movie. I really don't hate this movie. I was a bit bored by it. I'm spitting a lot as I'm talking. Yeah, I was a bit bored, and oh, there's the hair thing again. So sorry. I apologize. Please don't be mad at me. Anyway, I was bored by it. I said that 3 times. So again, I've repeated myself, which is another thing I do. I'm so sorry. Oh, the hair and the repeating myself. You people must be so disappointed. But I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it. It just, I don't know, things, and I would say that this is just, again, me getting older, but honestly, I've been like this all my life. Becca will attest to that. Matt will attest to that. My parents will attest to that. You know, just something irritates me and gets me in the wrong way, and nothing's going to bring me back. And unfortunately, that's kind of what happens to this movie. I'm not the target audience. Again, not being a little kid or a person with nostalgia for this particular character or property. So I get that. I get that other people can watch this and really get a lot out of it and really dig it. And there were parts I did dig, but for the most part, I found it objectively, canceling out all the things I just ranted out, I found it just wanting. It just felt very 2020s, you know? It's the same lessons, the same characters, the same, you know, it's just the same. You can lump all these movies together and there's not a whole lot of there, you know? That's objectively, I can say that. Taking out all of my personal bitching, that's my opinion of this movie. So, you know what? I've kicked this poor thing enough. It didn't deserve the beating I gave it. It really didn't. So I am sorry. Little overly theatrical criticisms on my part. But, you know, sometimes you're just feeling frustrated. You gotta let it out. So let's get to it. So final grade for Lightyear, you know, objectively, I would say maybe a B or a B minus. But I'm not. That's if I could take away my personal feelings and my personal likes and dislikes. But if you do that, then I don't know. I think you lose a little something. So I'm gonna vote my heart, and I'm gonna say a C+ for Lightyear. And I know that's being a little harsh. And I know there are Pixar and Disney and Toy Story fans out there hearing that and just wanting to call for my head. And all I can say to you folks is, go ahead and come at me. You don't scare me. I have antagonized and faced down the most rabid, vile fan base on this planet and survived. Because if Love and Tyranny fans can't kill me, you certainly can't. So there it is. That's my review of Lightyear. So that's it. Not much of a review so much as it was just me being old and ranting for a while. But you know what? That's part of my charm. At least that's what I'm going to tell myself. So thank you for joining me. Thanks for listening to this. And as always, drive safe. And I will see you at the movies.